One investment that Janet Yellen is going to be impressive with is Bitcoin. So I have a couple quotes here. This is from Coinbase. This was from October 2015, and it was her personal. It's under this section of personal views on Bitcoin. Now, Frank, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? So this is October 2015, quote, she says, in views of Bitcoin, would you not interpret Bitcoin's popularity as having a relationship with the public's view of the Federal Reserve's conduct of monetary policy? Now, where do you come down on that?
I mean, how old is she?
I don't think you're allowed to ask that.
You're allowed to ask that. I mean, I don't know why people get offended with their age. Your age is your age. It's not a big deal. It's how young you feel. I hate when
It's different if you got to pick when you were born, you know?
And the reason why is because cryptocurrencies, and I'm going to pull something up here, guys, and be sure, Curzio Research YouTube page, we did video interview just now. We pull up charts and stuff like that. You look at Bitcoin, 19,000. I mean, look at this surge. This is unbelievable. But when I look at Yellen and I look at it, it's the same thing with the hedge fund manager, same thing with Jamie Dimon, right? They criticize something they didn't understand. They don't understand that people want this system because they don't believe in it. They saw what there's no coincidence. Bitcoin came about in 2008, right? What happened?
Exactly.
All these banking, all these guys did a whole bunch of legal shit that nobody knew. Nobody knew any of this. Very few people figured it out, even though everybody today figured it out. They'll tell you, oh, we told you the market's going to crash. No, nobody knew how significant this was, how leveraged they were, 30, 40, 50 to 1. Just creating synthetic CDOs. I mean, nobody realized how crazy this market really is. And then you're looking at AIG is supposed to insure all this, and they had no clue. They're like, hey, it seems like free money to us. And the whole system is going to collapse. It's just a matter of time. But there's a reason why people love Bitcoin. And again, that limited supply, they're looking at it as a store of value. They're looking at something. You're seeing companies adopt it even more. It's a reason why Square, which is a position on our portfolio, we recommended really early on. We're up a ton on it. Just broke through new highs, PayPal, new highs. Companies associated with Bitcoin, Crypto Intelligence Newsletter, we have 2 stocks that are actually small cap stocks that are really engulfed in that trend, and both of them are doing fantastic. Everything Bitcoin related. This is for real. This isn't like 2017 where more people are involved. You're seeing a lot of hedge funds change their tune, saying, hey, we need to learn about this. You're seeing more companies, was it MicroStrategy that's putting some of that cash balance into Bitcoin, and they did that pretty much, I want to say, 40% ago.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. But again, you're seeing this more and more widely adopted. There is a limited supply, but to me, it is a function that people don't trust the system, and this is an easy way that you could transfer payments, no BS, on the blockchain, and it's just incredible. It's incredible to see this move. It's not surprising. We've been talking about this for a long time. Why you should own Bitcoin? Why you should own gold for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, all the time. It's nice to see this. Hopefully, it's a lot easier to buy Bitcoin now too, right? You go to Coinbase.
Yeah, you hit it on the head with PayPal. I mean, PayPal has 300 plus million accounts. Mm-hmm. As those users and clients can have access to that, and it's gotten easier just in the last couple of years. I mean, hell, you can go on, you can use a Bank of America credit card through Coinbase, I still believe, and buy it. So there's the easier that it gets, the easier that bridge is to cross from a new user who might be nervous or I don't understand this or just unsure, can put a little bit of money into it, and with a couple clicks on a iPhone or smartphone or opening an account just like a brokerage account to buy some of this and see how it works, that's only going to be a huge tailwind because it's still in the early ages. I don't know, price predictions kind of crack me up, but if I had to bet a year and a half from now, do you think Bitcoin's higher and lower?
You know what? A year and a half from now, I would think, 99% of people are going to say it's high. Remember, it moved up tremendously, and you're always going to see a consolidation.
And then it crashed. Hell, it was at 19, and then what? It went down to under 4?
Under 4 briefly.
Yeah.
And then we recommended
and now we're back at 19, yeah.
And I want to say something, too, which is interesting, because Ethereum, and this is our token is based on, it's like smart contracts, right, for Ethereum. But Ethereum at the beginning of the year, I'm showing this chart, guys, is the beginning of the year, it was under $150. Do you know where Ethereum is? You have any idea?
It's over 500.
I had no idea it was over 500.
Yeah.
I have it as a recommendation too. I knew it was over 425, 450, but I mean the recent move from basically 450 has come in the last week, and now it's trading at almost 600. Almost 600. I mean that's incredible. I think it was as high as, and I could look really quick. I want to say 1200, was it?
I don't know the all-time high.
Yeah, so
put me on the spot here.
It was like 1200 around there, 11 and change. But Yeah. So I
So
mean,
that's good. Buy stocks, buy Bitcoin. Hell, we're going to be out of jobs soon. It's getting too easy.
it is getting too easy. I know it's pretty crazy. I mean, just buy all these
All the
crazy
subscribers. BS. I bought one of the losers we just sold. It's not too easy.
I know, but that, you know what? That's what people are looking at too. At least gold has a bid under it in a lot of these projects. I mean, you have to realize, guys, with gold, and this is important, Dan. I know you understand this, but gold is profitable at 1,200 for all the majors now, right? Their costs are all below 1,000, and you're looking at prices where 1850. What was the highs recently? 19 and change. They're a little bit off the highs, but the stocks are down like, some of them 10, 15 small caps. Junior's down 20%.
Gold's basically down 20 or 7%, but miners and other things are down 10% plus easily. Yeah.
10%. And what's gold? The gold price? How much is that down?
About 7%
About
from
7%.
roughly 2,000. I mean,
Which
it was
is like
yeah.
a consolidation. It was not a big deal. You have to really almost every single mine right now that's being developed and in production is profitable probably around 1,600, right? And at 1,800, the amount of money that the Newmonts, the Barracks are going to print. I mean, these things are screaming buys. Their margins are better than Microsoft. They're better than Amazon. I'm not kidding. Look, if I took the name out of it, you wouldn't believe that these are gold companies. They're making an absolute fortune. They position themselves perfectly. These prices are very high and they're probably going higher. But those dividends are going to be raised significantly. They're going to start buying back stock if they stay at these levels. I just think it's a good opportunity for both of these things, Dan, with Bitcoin and gold. And you're probably going to see a consolidation in Bitcoin as well. If you go on the internet, the whole entire world says it's going to, what was the idiot who made that projection by next year? What was the price? 300,000 or something?
It was odd. It's like 311. It was a banker said that.
So,
yeah.
So it's a guy
I
trying
hope
to
he's
get his name
right.
to
What
pay.
the hell?
I hate that because that's for our CEO token. I want people to take this industry more seriously. And when I see that, I'm like, come on. And he's basically on technical levels, which we never even been close to this price. We're basically in new territory almost today. And then he's basically on fundamentals of what happened in the gold industry in 1970. I read the report. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So you could say 50,000, 100,000, get your point. 300,000 by the end of next year. I don't see that. And we might see a consolidation period where, it pulls back 10, 15%. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You get a little bit of a shakeout. You're seeing that in gold right now. And but it's still very bullish on both of these.
You know what I think is one more tailwind for that?
What's that?
Turning it back to politics, not to take shots, but just to point out that, hey, if this administration comes in, if this is a tailwind, we can make a lot of money as investors. Andrew Yang is popular for the Democratic nominee because why? When he was running, he's a math guy, Frank. And he's talking about universal basic income, and he's a crypto guy. Mm-hmm. And apparently, according to some sources, he is in the run for Secretary of Commerce, which is held by Wilbur Ross right now. Mm. How old is Wilbur Ross since we kicked the age can open?
He's 125.
All right, I thought so.
He's close to that.
Yeah, he's a billionaire. He can be as old as he wants.
He can be as old. I mean, it's great, good for him. But I mean, he's. I mean, you know what? Go ahead, keep talking. Go ahead, Wilbur Ross. I gotta find out his.
So anyway, Department of Commerce works with businesses, universities, communities, nations workers to promote job creation, et cetera, et cetera. So this guy is big on cryptocurrencies. He's promised to introduce nationwide legislation framework to bring crypto market clarity. He's defined the difference between tokens and security tokens. That's from more of like the SEC, it sounds like. Clear up tax status of each of the crypto assets, trading, selling, and owning, which ought to scare the shit out of you because just for owning something and being taxed is not going to be a good idea, but we'll get away from that. And avoid the heavy, now listen to this, you got the biggest team of government people coming in with the mindset of government, universal, everything. Avoid the heavy hand of government to not stifle innovation. So this guy is an exciting. He's a charismatic guy. He's interesting to listen. I mean, he's a smart guy. I've actually really enjoyed listening to some of the interviews with him. But the whole basic universal income, $1,000 a month to everybody. If he's in the running for this position, you're going to see gold and Bitcoin go through the roof with that, and they probably are going to try to use Bitcoin or some Fed coin or whatever to help the quote unquote underbanked. So I'll leave you with that, but let's pay attention to the underbanked going forward and see how they come in to save the day on that.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, when I'm looking at gold and Bitcoin right now, again, two areas that just have tons of tailwinds behind them. But one of the big things what we need is there's a new SEC chairman coming in, and we're hoping because Clayton, who's leaving, was pretty pro crypto. And it's important because the regulation front, we're getting our ass kicked overseas when it comes to cryptos. Okay. We need regulation. And I know when it comes to crypto enthusiasts, they want blockchain. They don't want any oversight. You need oversight. You need oversight. If you can't have your money disappear, you don't know what's going on. Okay. People need to have that security, just like you do at through your bank, and there's insurance and your brokerage firm and stuff like that. So hopefully we get someone that's on board with that. It's going to be a big deal. We could see tons of ETFs come out, which have been rejected. The regulation in our industry for security tokens definitely getting relaxed. You're seeing more licenses being sold now through FINRA and SEC regulated, where you're going to see more alternative trading platforms, which is going to open the door for even more platforms, which is basically more E-Trades, Ameritrades, the Fidelity platforms, Schwab, all these platforms. And you're going to see more and more security tokens trades open the door. Hopefully we continue that. I think it will.